Okay, for the third person in my group here he or she is going to draw the church as seen reflected in the I am pay. These are two completely opposite but very iconic or very important buildings in Boston. One is Trinity Church, designed by the architect Richardson, and the other one right across the street from it is this glass skyscraper designed by I.M. Pei and his friends at the I.M. Pei office. And already these proportions are not quite right, but it's the artistic license in us. So what happens is the church is reflected in a manner that is not always consistent, because the glass bows out and is slightly askew, so you get little variations on the reflection. Obviously, if you stand next to a mirror that's made up of a bunch of little tiny mirrors, you're going to be broken up into little pieces. You're sort of pixelated. And this particular artist that I'm pretending to be is someone who loves working in ink washes. And in my little game I'm playing, the person who would be interested in ink washes would be someone who would be attracted to this particular image, and you'll see why in a second if I can do this without screwing up. What I'm using to draw with in this case is it's a no blot ink pencil. Now, I don't know whether these are made ever again, but they might exist still. But they work like a pencil, they look like a pencil, they smell like a pencil. They do not, however, taste like a pencil. And I will show you what that means in a minute. So what I'm doing again is I'm pretending to be a number of different artists all at the same all at the same time, so that I can try to draw this famous church in as many different ways as I can. Now, this particular artist, as I said, when I'm drawing, is someone who likes ink washes, and he has these amazing ink pencils that he's drawing with. One of the things that the history of this building was such that it just took forever for it to be built, because it's quite tall. And after the thing was built and the glass was put in, it was discovered that I.M. Pei and his company did not engineer it correctly, and it would sway in the wind, and these huge panes of glass would come crashing to the ground in the wind. And consequently, I don't know if people were killed, but they may well have been. So this is what you add water to this pencil, these pencil lines, and they sort of dissolve into watercolor. So they do make watercolor pencils, which sort of do the same thing. But I like these ink pencils because in a way I like the blue color that they make. And the blue color is quite a bit different from the gray color that it starts out as. So there's something that's kind of nice about that. Anyway, for like a decade or so, the building was not occupied, and while they were trying to figure out how to fix the problem, it was completely covered in plywood. So I.M. Pei and his staff eventually installed this very complicated mechanism, I guess, on the top of the building that has these counterweights that when the wind blows one way, the counterweights go another way, and it helps stabilize the shape of the building so so it doesn't sway as much, or torque, I guess it was torquing is what it was doing, and the glass doesn't break and fall out and decapitate the passers-by down below. Passers under, I guess they would be. So anyway, that's, I think, what's sort of fun about this building, as reflected in these two in its more modern, 100-year earlier, more recent, 100-year later building, is you get to see both at the same time. So as you can see, watercolor is not my strong suit, or ink wash drawings are not my strong suit. But an urban sketcher that does work, and they do work in this medium, they do a very good job of doing what I'm pretending to do in this particular exercise. And I'm looking very much forward to seeing them show their actual work here at Brick Bottom, where I live, in the upcoming open studios we're having. There's this checkerboard pattern here that I'm not showing. Watercolor, for those of you that don't know, it is a very unforgiving medium. You make a mistake in watercolor and there's really no way to fix it. You're stuck with it. So, and if you belabor your work, it looks awful. And if you make mistakes, it looks awful. So you have to be very sure of what you're doing. And you also have to do it with the conviction that you're doing it correctly. You not only have to know what you're doing, but you have to prove it by drawing very fast, by painting very fast, I think. You have to make it look easy. It's like, Fred Astaire dancing, or Bing Crosby singing. When you listen to them sing or dance or watch them dance, they make it look easy. And a good watercolorist also, I think, when you look at a good watercolor, it does look easy. So anyway, here's Urban Sketcher number 3. So and this will be put together with the other 2 I've done, other versions of the same building. So we've got 3 now, and now it's time for number 4.